get ready to kickstart your journey to wellness with the ultimate guide in town. Welcome to Wellness Unleashed with Doc Stone. Join us as we journey through the realms of natural healing, where ancient wisdom meets modern science. Prepare to be inspired by stories of transformation and triumph. With Doc Stone as your guide, discover the power of holistic living and the joy of reclaiming your health. Prepare for a whirlwind adventure through the world of holistic wellness. From fitness freaks to spiritual gurus, we've got something for everyone. So grab your sneakers, your yoga mat, or just your sense of curiosity, and let's dive headfirst into a world of wellness wonders. Wellness Unleashed with Doc Stone. Your path to a vibrant life starts now. Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Wellness Unleashed with Doc Stone. I am your host, Jeremy Doc Stone, health coach, holistic healthcare practitioner, and just an all-around enthusiast of all things natural health. I am so excited that all of you are here watching this evening, and hope that all of you have been doing extremely well since last week's episode. And tonight, I'm looking forward to talking about a pretty important topic that a lot of people take for granted and yet affects millions of people in our country and all around the world, actually, and that is bone health. And so, just as always at the beginning, we talk about at the show, everything that we talk about on Wellness Unleashed with Doc Stone is for educational purposes only. We don't treat, we don't diagnose or cure disease or anything like that. So please make sure if you are suffering any type of medical condition that you do consult with your licensed healthcare practitioner. That being said, I am excited tonight to talk about bone health and going to share some things, which is some ways that you can have stronger bones, ways that you can live a more longer, more vital life where you're able to enjoy life, and kind of talk about some of the different bone conditions that maybe you know somebody that has, or maybe you've experienced, and some ways to improve your overall bone health. So we are going to jump right in and talk about bone health. And I really want you to understand that strong bones equate to a healthy life, right? So we're going to talk about some natural approaches to bone health today. And if you do, after today's show, if you have questions, make sure that you comment. Be sure to reach out to us. Happy to answer any questions for you. Now, tonight's topic is inspired by this guy right here, my son, Jonathan. We were playing in the evening time cards around the card table, which he and I like to do at nighttime. And I asked him, I said, son, what topic do you think I should talk about on the show this week? And at first he was like, I don't know. It's like, give me something. What do you want me to talk about? And so he said, why don't you talk about bone health? So Jonathan, this show is for you, is inspired by him. And I am super, super happy to share on this topic tonight. So on today's show, I want to talk about a little bit of understanding bone health, what it is. I want to talk about common bone disorders, natural methods for prevention and treatment of bone disorders, and natural remedies and supplements. If you've been around the radio at all in the last couple of years, you've probably heard this song by Maren Morris, "The House Don't Fall If the Bones Are Good." And that really is kind of true of our bodies as well. If our bones are good, then our body or our house is not going to fall. It's going to last us a lot longer. And yet, for many of us, many people, we take our bone health for granted. We don't even really understand unless we break a bone or we feel the aches and pains. We think that we're just getting old. It's a part of old age or wear and tear. And really, there are ways that we can improve our bone health and really into our later years in life enjoy a much more vibrant, living. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today and the different ways that we can live a better life through good quality bone health. So let's understand bone health a little bit. First of all, our bones are more than just a framework. So a lot of us think of our skeleton, our bones that they hold us up. And the reality is that while they do help to provide a framework, that our bones in and of themselves don't really hold us up. So what do I mean is that if we just had a bones and we didn't have the tendons and the ligaments and the muscles that attach these bones, then it would just be a pile of bones. We wouldn't really have this framework or this structure that we think that our skeleton is. And so, while it does provide a framework for us and for these muscles to attach to, and for us allow us to move, to walk, to run, to crawl, to do all the different things that we do, it does so much more than just provide the framework. So it's crucial to our overall health and vitality. There's a lot of things that happen with our bones. Our bones actually protect our organs. Think about it. Your skull protects your brain. Your rib cage protects your heart and your lungs. So all of your vital organs are actually enshrouded by your bones. So they provide protection there. They anchor our muscles, which allow for our movement, allow us to do all of our daily activities, allow us to get out and to enjoy the world around us, allows us to pick up our child or our grandchild, allows us to run with our favorite dog or to reach down and pet our cat. So the bones provide the structure that the moving parts, the muscles and the ligaments and the tendons all attached to. So that's super, super important. Without our bones, there's nothing for these to attach to, and there's no movement. We're just laying there, a blob of flesh and bone. So that's those super, super important. It also stores essential minerals. For instance, phosphorus and calcium is stored in there. In fact, it's the releasing from our bones that brings these things to the different organs that need them. For instance, the heart needs the phosphorus and the calcium, so it releases these important minerals into our bloodstream. So it acts as like a storehouse for these important minerals that are essential for the different tasks of life that are essential for living. So it's much more, much more than just having the structure to our bodies. And it also is where blood cells are produced. So there's a variety of blood cells that are produced inside the bones, especially in what we call in the bone marrow. We have immune cells that are produced there. White blood cells are produced and released out into the body from your bone marrow. And this is why oftentimes when you hear of somebody suffering from a cancer such as leukemia and they're looking for bone marrow transplants, it's trying to bring about healthy bone marrow back into the bone system so they can produce these immune cells, these immune blood cells. So without our bones, our body's immune system would not be able to function correctly. Hopefully by now you're beginning to get a little bit of a sense of just how important bone health is, and maybe you understand that it's a whole lot more than just providing us with a skeleton or giving us some funny things to laugh out around Halloween time when you have those laughing skeletons that scare you from behind the door. So this is really, really important. If we neglect our bone health, we're neglecting the rest of our health. We're neglecting our total body health. So let's talk about a little bit about what these bones do. So bones, they provide the support, right? They're structures, support for our bodies. They provide movement. So bones work with your muscles and joints to enable movement. And muscles attached to the bones via the tendons, and this connection allows us to perform a wide range of activities. As we talked about, it protects us. It protects our different organs in place. And, our rib cage protects, like I said, our heart and our lungs, which is really, really important. If you think about um, our pelvis helps to protect our bladder. And so all of these different bones, they provide different protections for the important parts of our body. And of course, these essential minerals that we talked about are released into our bloodstream for all these different bodily functions. So you probably beginning to get that we need to take care of the bones. Your bones are kind of important. No way around it. We need to take care of them, and your life is going to be a whole lot better if you do. Now, what are some of the common bone disorders that people experience, or that is really popular? Well, probably you've heard of osteoarthritis. It's the wear and tear. We begin to feel pain in our joints. This affects probably around 40 million people. Osteoarthritis. There's osteoporosis, which affects about 10 million people. But another close to 30, 40 million people have some type of reduced bone density, which is osteopenia, which leads to osteoporosis. So there's a lot of people that are on the verge of moving into osteoporosis. And so, it's super, super common. And we want to make sure that we are doing all that we can to help to prevent this as we begin to age. The strength of our bones and making sure that we have good bone density is super important, especially as we move into our older years. The elderly are especially prone to falls, and when they have a reduced bone density, they are more likely to fracture a bone, particularly the pelvis, and the chances of somebody who's in their elderly years recovering from like a pelvis fracture or these different types of fractures from when they fall is a lot less, because we don't heal as well when we are older. So it's important that we do everything that we can before we reach those years to make sure that we are giving our bodies the best opportunity to live in a very, very vital way, a life of vitality. And so it's super important that we are trying to do prevention. Now, that doesn't mean that if you've been lacking in prevention leading up into your elderly years, that there's not things that you can do to help to begin to slow down that progression or help to make your life a little bit better. And so, it's super, super important that no matter where you're at in your life, or how focused you have been on making sure that your bone health is good, that you start today. And so we want to give you some tools and some ways to be able to make sure that you are really doing the best that you can for your bone health. So what are the top 3 ways to improve bone health? Well, I'm glad you asked. You want to maintain a balanced diet rich in calcium and vitamin D. So a lot of people know that calcium and that is related to bone health, but a lot of people don't understand the importance of vitamin D when it comes to bone health. Vitamin D is one of the most important and yet one of the most efficient vitamins that we as a population have in our systems. It's crucial for so many parts of our living. It's crucial for all different parts of our body, but it is especially crucial because it is actually what helps to take the calcium and to make it usable in the rest of the body. Now, vitamin D is super important if you have arthritis. It'll help with helping to relieve the pain. For overall bone health, it's important for brain health and every other portion of your body. But particularly in order to allow calcium to be absorbed into your bones and to build bone, you got to have quality functional levels of vitamin D. And the fact is that probably about 90% of the population is deficient in this. And that means that their blood levels of vitamin D3 are below what we would consider in functional medicine a functional level. And so they have weakened immune systems, their bone systems deteriorate, they suffer from more arthritic pain. And so if we can make sure that we have good functional levels of vitamin D, then we are able to use the calcium in to build back bone in a better fashion. And of course, this helps us to be less prone to fractures. And if we do fall, less likely to break a bone. And so, having a good quality diet and where necessary, supplementing with supplements is crucial for bone health. Another thing, the second top 3 way to improve your bone health is to engage in regular exercise, particularly weight-bearing exercise. Weight-bearing exercise, lifting weights, doing squats, that kind of stuff. One, it helps us to build our balance, which is going to be crucial to help to prevent us from falling or to minimize the risk of falls. The better that we improve our balance and the stronger that our muscles are, we are less likely to fall and therefore less likely to fracture a bone, which we've already talked about in the elderly. It takes a long time to heal from. So we want to make sure that we are engaging in regular exercise. It also helps to build muscle or build bone on there, as well as we begin to put stress on the bones and build muscle around it. It just helps us to develop overall good core strength and make us less likely to suffer from the top bone health conditions. The third, rounding out the top 3 ways to improve bone health, is to adopt a healthy lifestyle choices. Now, what does this mean? This can be a variety of things. One of the things that you can do is to avoid smoking. Now, what does smoking have to do with bone health? Glad you asked. So smoking actually reduces the blood flow to your bones. Now, when we look at a bone, we have all of these different blood vessels that go actually into the bone. The bones are kind of a porous substance. They're not necessarily solid. They actually have all these different blood vessels that go into it. And smoking actually inhibits the flow of blood to your bones, which is critical for your overall bone health. The other thing is to not be underweight. I know most healthcare people will go right to talking to you about overweight, and we'll get there, but we don't want to be underweight. And the reason is because if we're undernourished, if we're underweight and we're undernourished, then our body is going to draw the minerals and the nutrients that we need from where it can. And this will usually be from your bones. So you'll deplete your calcium stores, and phosphorus and your essential minerals from your bones because your body needs them for the other parts of your body. Remember, we talked about heart health and brain health and that kind of stuff. And so it'll actually drain those essential minerals, and therefore it'll actually weaken your bones simply by being underweight. So you want to make sure that you maintain a healthy weight. Likewise, being overweight puts excess strain on your bones and on your joints, the cartilage, and can wear those down and lead to osteoarthritis and osteoporosis and just painful daily living. And so you want to make sure that you're doing that. Make sure that you get quality vitamin D, whether it's in your diet or through supplementation. And I can tell you that most people are not getting enough vitamin D. It is very, very, very common that you need to supplement, and you need to supplement at higher levels than probably what you've been told that you need to do. Vitamin D is crucial for everything. And then it's also important to get your vitamin K. Vitamin K plays a synergistic role with vitamin D. They're actually kind of essential to each other, which is why oftentimes you'll see supplements that are called K2D3 supplements. It's a combination supplement that has both the vitamin K and the vitamin D3 because they actually help each other and play a role in the absorption of each other in your body. So you want to make sure that you're getting good doses of vitamin D, vitamin K. Now, some natural sources for vitamin K are going to be like your green leafy vegetables like kale, spinach, super, super good for you in that. Vitamin D, of course, we get from the sun, exposure to the sun. If you can, get out and try to get about 30 minutes a day of sun exposure so that your body, because your body produces vitamin D through the process of sun exposure, and then creates that for you. Vitamin D fortified foods, but you want to make sure, that part of the bad thing about vitamin D fortified foods is that oftentimes they also have sugars in them. So you want to make sure that you're not, consuming excess sugar, because sugar is an inflammatory food and creates a whole slew of other health issues for you as well. So, these are the top 3 ways to improve your bone health. Now, hopefully you began to see a little bit today. If you're not suffering from bone health or bone disease or bone issues, hopefully you've been encouraged today to pay a little bit more attention to your bone health and not to take those for granted. These are so many people, and especially the older population, suffer from pain on a daily basis because they don't put in the effort to take care of their bone health in their earlier years. So I don't want you to be one of those people to be suffering from bone disease. I want you to be able to get out at 78, 80, 90 years old. I want you to be able to do the gardening. And if that's what you want to do, I want you to be able to get out and walk around the mall. I want you to be able to enjoy your great grandchildren. And it's really, really hard to do that if your bones are bugging you and you are actually struggling to get out and to move around. So these are Doc Stone's top ways to improve your bone health, why you want to do it, why it should be important to you. And I hope that you will do something this week to improve your bone health. Get out, get moving, enjoy your week. We'll see you next Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Wellness Unleashed with Doc Stone, brought to you by Doc Stone's Natural Medicine and Wellness and my friends at the Airstream TV Network. We'll see you next week. Thank you for watching Wellness Unleashed with Doc Stone on the Airstream TV Network. The opinions expressed by the host and guests of this show are theirs and not the opinions of the network or our sponsors. None of the information shared on today's episode should be taken as medical advice. Statements have not been approved by the FDA or any other governmental authority. And if you're experiencing any kind of illness or wellness issue, you are encouraged to consult with your licensed healthcare practitioner. And we do appreciate you watching our show and look forward to seeing you on the next episode.